Kindness grows when hearts listen.
Hello, everyone. Let's settle in for a story today. It's a gentle little tale, but it holds some really big lessons about making mistakes, about forgiveness, and about what it truly means to be a community. It's all about a wise old man, some very worried rabbits, and a mystery that kicks off in a simple carrot patch. So, picture this. Our story starts in one of those perfect, peaceful forests. You know the kind where the flowers seem to dance and the birds are always singing their happiest songs. And living right in the heart of this forest was a man they called Wise Mustafa. Now, who exactly is Wise Mustafa? Well, he had this incredible beard that looked just like a soft white cloud, and his eyes, they sparkled. But it was his heart that was truly special, as gentle as the moss on the forest floor. And his real gift? He had this amazing connection with nature. He could actually speak with the rabbits, sharing their stories and their secrets. He was, in a way, the gentle soul of this whole little world. Of course, in any good story, that peaceful quiet can't last forever, can it? A perfect morning is just about to get turned upside down, and the harmony of this little forest is really going to be put to the test. And that disturbance? It arrives in the form of a tiny, fluffy, and very, very panicked messenger. This is Pufaduk the rabbit, and he is definitely not there for a morning chat. He comes racing up to Wise Mustafa's door, and you can just tell he has some terrible news. And here it is, the big crisis. An entire field of carrots, which is pretty much everything for these rabbits, has just vanished, seemingly overnight without a single trace. Pufaduk is beside himself, and just like that, our mystery begins. But, where the rabbits see a total disaster, Wise Mustafa sees something else entirely. He's not alarmed at all. He has this calm sense that every event, no matter how weird, has a lesson hidden inside it. So for him, this isn't a crisis. It's just the start of a new chapter. And with those simple, calm words, he gathers all the worried little rabbits. He doesn't let their fear take over. Instead, he guides them towards curiosity, towards finding out what really happened. And so, they all head over to the scene of the crime, the now very, very empty carrot field. And when they get there, they find the clue, the big clue. They were totally expecting to see signs of other rabbits, tiny little paw prints everywhere. But the ground wasn't marked with tiny paws. Instead, there were these huge, heavy footprints, unlike anything they had ever seen before. That realization just sends this wave of fear through the rabbits. A bear. Oh no! Their minds immediately jump to this big, scary monster. But Wise Mustafa, he just smiles. His approach is so simple. He just says, well, let's go find him and talk. And so, this little group cautiously starts to follow the giant tracks deeper and deeper into the forest. They're on their way to confront the thief, and they're all expecting some fearsome beast. But what they're about to find is something very, very different. And pretty soon, they find him. But he's not a roaring monster. It's Badi the bear, and he just looks completely ashamed of himself. The culprit isn't scary at all. He's just sad. And, well, his very full belly is a pretty clear giveaway of his guilt. Badi doesn't even try to hide it. He confesses right away. There was no evil plan here. He was just hungry. He saw all those carrots. He couldn't help himself. And now he feels terrible about it. And that simple, honest apology, it just changes everything for the rabbits. This right here, this is the heart of the whole story. Wise Mustafa steps in with his gentle wisdom, and he reminds all of them that making a mistake isn't the end of the story. It's the apology, and more importantly, the action that comes after that really defines what happens next. So this moment is a real turning point. The focus shifts completely. It's not about the crime anymore, it's about the solution. Badi wants to know if he can make it right, and Mustafa is ready to show him exactly how. Mustafa offers this really simple but incredibly powerful path to making things right. It's a process that moves from just feeling bad to actually doing something about it. First, you have to accept what you've done. Then, you apologize sincerely to rebuild that trust. But the most important step? It's the last one. You have to work to fix the harm you caused. And that's the path Badi's about to take. And Badi doesn't waste a second. He jumps right in, working with the rabbits. His incredible strength, which he'd used to take from them, is now being used to give back. He's helping dig new rows, plant seeds, carry water, working side by side with his new friends. And you know what? In just a week, they have a brand new garden, and it's even more beautiful than the old one. To celebrate, wise Mustafa declares it's time for a festival. But this isn't just about celebrating carrots. It's a celebration of their community, of forgiveness, and of a very unlikely, wonderful new friendship. So if you step back and look, the story started with a loss, right? The missing carrots. But it ended with the gain that was so much bigger. They didn't just replace what was taken. They built something completely new, and they did it together. And what about Badi? Well, he's no longer the bear who stole the carrots. Not at all. That mistake actually became the thing that helped him transform. He's now a loved and celebrated member of the forest community, known for his kind and helpful heart. So what are the big lessons from this sweet little tale? Well, first, that a mistake doesn't have to be the end. With a little effort, it can be the start of something better. It also shows us that it's so much more powerful to try and understand someone than to just rush to judgment, because a lot of the time, what looks like a bad act is really just someone who is in need. And finally, the story teaches us that forgiveness, it can build something far more beautiful than whatever was lost in the first place. And we'll end with wise Mustafa's final piece of wisdom. This idea of seeing with your heart. It's all about looking past the surface of a problem. It's about finding the understanding, the lesson, and ultimately the kindness that's hidden inside every situation. And that's a pretty powerful thought to carry with us. Thank you for joining me for this story.